Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Design Review Committee on Thursday, December 18th, 2025. I now call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates.
Present.
Member Getz.
Here.
Member Johnson.
Here.
Vice Chair Boyd.
Here.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Melissa, please lead us. Please stand as you are able.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the order of the agenda as presented?
So move.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Having heard a motion, a second to approve the order of the agenda. Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates.
Approve.
Member Getz.
Approved.
Member Johnson.
Approved.
Vice Chair Boyd.
Approve.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Approved.
Thank you.
Okay, consent items. Lisa, will you please introduce them?
Items on consent are typically routine and will be approved in one motion. The chair will call on anyone wishing to address the committee on any consent item on the agenda which has not been pulled by the committee for discussion. Each speaker will be permitted to speak only once and comments will be limited to a total of 3 minutes.
Okay, we're going to start with in-person public comment first. Anybody in the room? This is items on the consent agenda. Anybody on Zoom? Okay. Committee members, anybody have any items they would like to pull? I do. I am going to ask that we pull, just for clarification, on item 2, well, actually 2A and B, please. Okay. So now we're going to go back to these consent items, and we're going to go to item 2A. Lisa, would you like to introduce that just real quickly? Or
Approve a sign permit for a proposed projecting sign and window sign located at 1693 Mission Drive, Suite C1, APN 139143025. The proposed project is categorically exempt from CEQA, and the applicant is here.
So I'm the one that asked to have this pulled. My quick question has to do with the proposed window lettering. I see in the diagram here that the window black sign has a white background. Is that just the way? Will you come up to the microphone and, yeah.
I'm not tech savvy, so that's just the way I could make it happen for you guys to get an idea. Yeah, apologies. I was trying to delete the background, but I couldn't get it to work.
No problem. That was my assumption, but I didn't want to go with that. So
It'd just be floating on the class, yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Clear back. Yeah, black shows up and the rest of it is just the glass. Thank you for clarifying.
Of course.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay, then we'll take a motion to approve item 1A. Excuse me, item 2A.
I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we've got approval in a second. Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates.
Approve.
Member Getz.
Approved.
Member Johnson.
Approved.
Vice Chair Boyd.
Approved.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates.
Approved.
Thank you.
Thank you for clarification. Moving on to consent item 2, which is, Lisa, do you wish to introduce that as well? The schedule.
Approved 2026 Design Review Committee meeting schedule.
Okay, I had a question on the schedule, and it looks like maybe I see something on Jennifer's too. My question is, I do have potential conflict on the January 15th, and when I looked at that date, I was also wondering if this might be a time to postpone the meeting a week simply because of it being so early in the new year and allowing more time for staff to prepare.
So short answer is it is codified that the meeting does happen on the third Thursdays of the month. We are actually being fully prepared for the next meeting as we have items that we shoved off from this meeting to go to the next meeting. So if we have a quorum, which I'm assuming most of you will be here for that, then should be able to move forward with that meeting.
And if we don't, we'll address that at a later date. Are there any other
That's
dates
correct.
that are of concern, of note to anybody at this point?
The only date that I will not be able to attend is the September 17th, as I will be setting up for Danish Day.
Danish Days High Gear, yeah.
Yeah, so very similar. If you can't make it, just let us know. Full disclosure, the June 18th date for me, I will be available if I have to be available, but I will be 9 hours ahead of y'all. So
Well,
Oh, all
and
right.
June 18th, I will be 2 hours ahead of you.
Oh.
So we'll as we go. So knowing that myself and you would more than likely be out. Again, very similar to what happened when I first started here. We sandbagged 2 DRC meetings due to staff outages and vacations. We may have to do that, or we may move it simply because we will be playing musical chairs for city staff over the summer. So as we have folks coming off vacation and then folks that are going on potential long-term leave. So.
All right, thank you.
Esther, I probably won't be able to attend the January 15th meeting.
Okay, and that's the one that's kind of sketchy for me, so.
We are still contemplating it being on the 15th.
Well, unless there's not a quorum, but I think at this point, we approve the schedule, and then if necessary, we revisit that.
That is correct. So again, my recommendation is to approve the schedule as is. We'll revisit after the holidays. The quorum, as I said, we do have an item already queued up for that meeting, and so we'll do a separate poll, and if we have to, we will special meeting it. So, but the preference is to keep the schedule as is.
Okay, so I think that kind of stands for all the future meetings, and with that, I'd like to request just that staff send an email, and maybe do this on a regular basis, several weeks before the meeting, just to confirm attendance. With that said, encouraging everybody, if you know you can't make a meeting, let us know as early as possible, because that helps with preparation. So all that said, do I have a motion to approve the 2026 meeting calendar as presented?
I motion to approve.
I second.
Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates?
Approved.
Member Getz?
Approve.
Member Johnson?
Approved.
Vice Chair Boyd?
Approved.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates?
Approved.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to public communications, non-agenda. And at this point, there's nobody in the room and nobody but our attorney on Zoom. I don't think it's required that we do an introduction, given that, that being the case. Then we're going to move on to discussion, item 4A. Lisa, will you go ahead and introduce discussion on possible action on the sign permit here?
Discussion and possible action for a sign permit with a sign exception for application PA 25052 located at 1665 Fir Avenue, APN 139143021 for 2 wall signs. The proposed project is categorically exempt from CEQA. And then I do have a PowerPoint I'll get up here. It's really quick. So the applicant is requesting an exception to the maximum allowable size for 2 wall signs. Each sign measures 9.33 square feet. It's existing signage that, looking back, there were no permits initially filed for the sign, so we're just trying to get them into compliance at this point. The exception is requested from the applicant due to the size of property. There are multiple buildings and the location. It borders 2nd Street and then Fir, so it is out of the visual corridor. It's technically in the VMU district, but it is set back from the village, and there is some difficulty finding it. And then there are findings required for the exception that the DRC will review to make their findings, and the project is categorically exempt from CEQA.
Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and any questions of staff from anybody sitting here? And again, public comment. There's nobody in the room and nobody on Zoom, so we're going to go ahead and close public comment. And here it is for our discussion. I was able to walk the area today. I'm hoping some of you got to see the location as well. And it's my understanding that this has been there for a couple of decades, but that there was a code complaint that came up that brought it to us here today. Anybody have any comments?
I walked it yesterday, well, I didn't walk it, I drove it yesterday as well. And as you said, their signs have been there for over 20 years apparently. If you were to all of a sudden make them meet current code, they're 8 inches too tall. To me, that's a very minor thing, and these signs have been there for a long time. Nobody's complained until now, apparently, and I don't see any problem with them personally.
I think that we've got conditions here for finding an exception within the standards as to the building location and the setback. As I walked the area, a key factor to me is that this is outside of the tourist-related area. It's not within the visual corridor of anybody in the tourist area. That we've already made an exception at the market there across the street. And because I'm the one that I think most of you know, I'm very reluctant to allow exceptions because that kind of has a domino effect. But I think we have a very strong case here because of unusual building location and setback to allow this. Any other comments? Do I have a I'm sorry.
I agree with you, what you're saying about the setback, it's out of the village and stuff. I look at something like there's a clothing store that's next to Canuck, the Thai cuisine that we just went in, and they have 6 signs for either $20.99 or $34.99, and those to me are much more of a, eyesore. They shouldn't be allowed to put that many up. They should have their own store sign up. They don't. And so when you look at this, out of the, out of the village.
Well, I think to me, again, I'm not going to compare it to any others, except I just did across the street. But I think we have to look at the exceptions that we can slot this into, and we've got that right there at 1C, unusual building location or setback.
I think the matter of years also matters. How long it's been, and that sign has been there for that many years.
And with that in mind, I also looked at the condition of the sign because my initial thought was that sign's been there 20 years. But because of the material and the way it was fabricated and the paint, apparently, it still looks like it's in fine condition. So all that said,
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Looking at the requirement versus proposed, so really, it's just that each sign exceeds the wall sign maximum size. There's only 2 signs, so they're in compliance there. The letter height is in compliance, and so his only question was that the signs are slightly bigger, and
yes.
that's what we're
As
approving.
as I said, they're 8 inches too tall,
That's,
basically.
okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to be clear on what we were exempting. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, the rest of it's within compliance. And again, the fact that it's not in the, although it is in the zoning area, it's not in the tourist zone, so to speak. This is a local business, and that's, definitely not a tourist business, nor is it visible within that tourist area.
Right.
So any motion to approve as presented?
If I could jump in
Excuse me.
before the motion is made.
Yes.
I would just suggest that whoever makes the motion expressly add whatever the conditions are that you believe constitute the exceptions that you're granting. I heard discussion among the members of the committee as to which they thought, but it should be part of the formal motion.
Okay, I think I can make a motion then. I don't usually do that, but let's go back I move that we allow the sign permit as presented with the exception, looking at item 1C, as this is based on unusual building location or setback. So that's my motion. Does that sound, okay, I see a head yes.
I second it.
All right, having heard a motion and a second, Lisa, roll call vote, please.
Member Melissa Bates?
Approve.
Member Getz?
Approved.
Member Johnson?
Approved.
Vice Chair Boyd?
Approved.
Chair Esther Jacobson Bates?
Approved.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're zooming right on to item number 5, committee member comments. Well, I can start. I got to say, Merry Christmas, Glela Yule, Happy Holidays to all, and special thank you to my colleagues up here on the dais for our almost a year together. I think this is, I guess it's meeting 11 because we were appointed in January. So it's been a pleasure working with you, and I think we're getting it into a rhythm here and looking forward to next year. And that rhythm is made possible by our staff here, Lisa, Raphael, for answering all of our questions. And believe me, there are many questions I ask them that are not from sitting in this chair. So thank you for all of that. All of that said, I had a couple questions, but I think they're probably going to be addressed in city staff comments, and I'll wait till that time. Anybody else have comments?
I do have one comment. I just wanted to confirm that our terms have been extended. And Lisa, could you confirm the end date on that?
I presumed that that was going to come up. That was one of my things.
I have it right here. Want it, Lisa?
Each end date's actually different from each member.
Oh,
So
Yes.
that's why it's,
Okay.
it was, yeah, so if you needed clarification, I would email the city clerk about your end date.
okay.
Since
I
it's-
believe that the Bateses up here, although we're not related, we apparently also were the ones who have the, I think it extended till 2092, is that right, Melissa? But we have a longer term, so yes. This, a kind of a little quick background on that, having everybody be appointed and our terms all end at the same time, I'd highly encourage our city council to really reconsider that. And because if I hadn't been here, it would be a completely new group. And not that I couldn't, not that I'm indispensable, but I think when you have a full turnover, you lose some of the background and institutional memory as to why decisions were made. The staff is here and they're great, but they're also new since I started as a design review committee member. So having that ability to have staggered terms, I think will be very valuable, and that's happening with planning as well, if I understand correctly. Yeah. So
I have one other comment too. I want to second your comments on wishing everybody a happy holiday season, and it's been a pleasure being on the committee with everybody, and I think we've been doing what I suspect is pretty good work. So thank you, and thank you, Esther, for leading us down the path here.
it's been a year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another question on terms. There's no prohibition on reapproving or reappointing any of the outgoing members to a subsequent term.
That is my,
That would be up to the council person who will nominate
Right.
the next member of the DRC as a part of their nominations.
So there'll be a new filing period, just as we all did,
That is correct.
and then the city council will look at the applications and pick. Okay.
and in the past, each council member kind of selected their choice, and honestly, I didn't quite hear how that was, is it going to be, I mean, it was always approval of the majority required, but it kind of like each person appointed their choice. Is that still the way it's going to be, or is it going to
Yes.
be? Okay,
So,
thank you.
still the same, but the terms just now align with the council person, so.
That was my understanding as well, yeah. But there's no limit as to how many times you can serve. There's no term limit, but you have to go through the process each time to be reappointed.
Correct. There's no codification for term limits.
Okay, City staff comments, please.
Trying to do multiple things at the same time. So that was actually the first item on my list. You were sent out an email from the city clerk. So if you have any questions in regards to term dates, because it's not a standard term date for everybody, each one's person's different, go ahead and email the city clerk or email myself and I'll get you your answer. Our staff has been extremely busy with the influx of building permit submittals over the last 6 weeks, particularly actually the last 2 weeks. So we are, and that's the main driver, two things. One is we do have a new building code cycle that will be ending on the 31st, and starting on the January 1st, we enter the 2025 building code. So major projects are trying to come on under the old code. And then we also have an influx of solar permits due to the expiration of tax credits on that. So that's why we're pretty busy. There's some movement on a couple projects, or a project that's going on in town. I know a lot of discussion on the apartment buildings located near 5th and Oak. Technically, it's 425th Street. We did meet with the applicant yesterday. We've actually been in contact with PG&E for the first time in many moons. Anyways, PG&E has finally provided sort of line drawings for undergrounding the utilities. For those who don't know, there's been no construction going on the exterior of the building because it was a requirement that those lines be underground. PG&E has taken a while to get us back what needs to get done. So hopefully we'll start seeing some movement on that construction project within the next month. Short-term rentals. So we did have a series of meetings with the city council about the direction of short-term rentals and a revision to that ordinance. This is going to the Planning Commission on January 5th for recommendation to the city council. And so hopefully that'll get splashed down here in this first quarter with implementation pushed out in quarter 2. As for your body, we do have a meeting in January for a sign program and sign exception for Founders Square, and potentially facade exception recommendation. So the way our new code is set up is, if for those that applicants who are seeking exceptions to the objective standards, they have to get the recommendation here first, and then it actually goes to Planning Commission for official finalization.
Raphael, sorry to interrupt. Founders Square, that's
Den Market Square.
Okay.
Formerly known as Den Market
yeah,
Square. So
Little Mermaid Square. Yeah.
yeah. So those are the two items. One of the two is for sure going. The other one, we'll see if we can get it completed. Our signage, so we, as you know, we worked over the summer with the sign ordinance. We did go to Planning Commission. They had some input as well. So kind of a couple things that we'll need directions on from the city council. So the hope is to take that in a meeting in January. So right now it's queued up for January 12th, but it might get delayed to the second meeting. So we'll see how that goes. As for our design handbook, we've been busy with other things. So that's now been pushed back to come to this body in February. And then finally, it is a new fiscal year, and so our new fiscal year is going to be upon us in June. And so the City Council does have a goal-setting session set for Saturday, February 7th. Location and time is still yet to be determined. For those that don't know, this is actually the time where the City Council sets their goals and budget priorities for the 2 fiscal years. So, and it's those goals that we work towards over the next 2 years of accomplishing. So it's a facilitated meeting, it's an open meeting, and so the more people that come out, the more they can chime in on the direction of the city within the next 2 years and how we program that budget and eventually our workload from city staff. And last but not least, we want to wish everyone happy holidays and Merry Christmas, and enjoy time with your family and friends. That concludes my report, unless you have any questions.
I do have a question. Tell me again, the meeting for the design codes to return to the city council.
For which codes?
You were saying, I think, that there's something coming up that,
Short-term rentals?
no, there was,
The handbook?
I thought there was something else, and I didn't quite catch it.
The signs?
That had gone to planning as well. Is that the sign?
So, yeah,
ordinance?
signs. Yeah, so signs will go for direction, not adoption.
And what meeting is that? That's what I didn't
It's
hear.
currently scheduled for the 12th, but we may push it out to the second meeting in January. So
You did, or you're,
we don't know yet.
okay, so maybe, okay.
Maybe.
All right. And update us, if you would, on the latest that you're allowed to speak of. Is there anything that you can update us with the project?
I have no update for that project.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
Is that the Ellis Allen Mission project?
I guess there's no update to be had
Thank you.
available at this time. I think, thank you, staff, and record meeting adjourned at 5:25.
Merry Christmas, Jennifer.